Okay, now we're live. Now we're live. Okay, now I should be able to go live on Instagram. Yeah, Facebook and YouTube are live. Still trying to get the ground to go. Look, it might not even work for me if it. You know, yep, trying to get this button to go. And see, this is yeah.
I'm finna go to Facebook to see too if it's what it's showing.
Okay, come on, IG.
And you got to put the title in there too.
On Facebook.
Yeah, it's still saying the relationship advice.
I don't know. I don't even know where that is coming from. I didn't never put that in there.
Oh yeah, it's on every live. Dang,
I don't. I don't. I
it
don't know
says
how to
like
stop it.
circling. I can't see it. Hold on.
It still ain't. It's not letting me do Instagram for some reason.
Okay, so on Facebook I can see both of us on the screen.
Okay.
So yes, it's still kind of crooked. Uh, that's cool. I'm scared to turn it. I don't know which way to turn it because I
You
can't.
still can't see yourself?
So look, it's cool. So the picture, so my picture, I'm not like right in front of my picture. It's like, it's
Oh, okay, yeah.
yeah. Let me see. I don't know which way to turn it because let's see.
I feel like the last time we had to do a lot more turning,
Yeah, I did. That's what's weird because I'm like I didn't know how to move it now based off how it would be.
but I
Yes.
think this is.
Okay,
I
so I
think this
just
is
turned
how.
it.
No, I was gonna say I think this is how I had it set up the first time,
Oh
and
yeah,
I think because I've been messing with the angles and stuff, but I think I clicked the wrong one the last time. That's why we had to do all that.
yeah, because you were still kind of off the screen a little bit.
I
You
was
had to position yourself too. Okay, so
way
we good on Facebook. I see us on Facebook.
okay. Yeah, I seen this on there. Yeah.
And you say it's not letting you do Instagram.
No, it ain't let. It should have clicked on as soon as I went live. It should have clicked it on, but
Yeah,
uh,
I don't see it.
no, it didn't. It didn't do it. And I done did practice runs with Instagram Live. This thing just.
I don't know. But see, my part doing that too. You know why it's probably not doing it, and which that shouldn't matter because that's how I knew you can only have top and bottom screen because I had went live one time with side by side screen, and
Mhm.
obviously you can't see it on Instagram until you stop the live. And when I stopped finally got off the live, our screens were side by side, but we were both off the screen. Like nobody can see us, but they can hear us. So I'm
Mm.
wondering if that's the reason too, is because your screen is side by side, so Instagram is not recognizing it as a
Mhm.
broadcast to let it go live or not. I don't know.
Yeah. I
Instagram like the top on top and top to bottom screen.
yeah. Well, I mean, we really. I wish it was something that we can have that just just stuck with individual cameras and switch them
Exactly.
according to platform. That would be the perfect thing. Like,
Exactly. Yep. Yep. Yep.
but they do have stuff that you can do that. Because that's before you started showing me stuff like this, where it's a website or an app that you can get on and do this. It's an actual device, an actual streaming device that you can do that on. Now
Um.
that I know you can, but like I said, it's uh, pretty penny.
Yeah.
Uh,
Okay. Okay.
but yeah, we're gonna get into it. I don't. If anybody's watching live, I thank you for tuning in. Uh, we got Brandy Yates, accountability coach. I'm Jasper Lovett, Brother Love. If you missed our last live, you're crazy because that was that was a good.
That was a good one. Our love be good though, cause
Yeah,
we be talking
yeah.
that
Oh, yeah,
talk like yeah, it ain't
sure.
yeah, it's good. It's good.
All of them are definitely valuable and very good. But I liked that one because it was just I was like, man, like that was I think just hearing what we was talking about in real time, I was like, oh man, that's.
Mhm.
But yeah, even the first one, because I'm still editing it. It's very valuable as well. Still very valuable. Just a lot of you know little hiccups, but
Yep, it's all good. It's all good. We still here. We still going.
yeah. So all right, give me 1 second for the. I'm trying to get the topic together because I had it together and then I had to get out and I got to do it again.
Hmm.
Um, so and this is coming off of a video that I just did recently, um, which is let me see if it come up. Yeah, we talking about the real wins and losses. You know, when it comes to just love in general. I feel like I look at the complaints that people have, and there's a lot of them, and I'll be like, I just think back on why I didn't complain like that during the process, and my
That's
son has escaped. I'm sorry, but yeah, yeah, I made that video because I'm like, there's other stuff. It's really more stuff that you can, if you wanted to call it a win or call it a loss, or you know, I think it's more valuable stuff that you can judge it off of. You know what I'm saying? That was the whole point of that video because I see people talking about rejection a lot and not even real. To me, it's not real rejection because it's just you trying to holler at somebody and you don't get it. I mean, I never looked at that as rejection. Call me crazy. Like we ain't in a relationship. We don't know each other. Why am I taking this interaction to heart?
mhm.
And I see people taking stuff like that to heart, and I don't know. Call me that's not a loss to me. Like if we went through the process, maybe if we actually had some type of investment, maybe. But even then, I wouldn't call it a loss because you still learn from that, and you can move forward like that. But do you have any initial thoughts on that?
Yeah, so it's definitely all about perspective. And obviously our perspectives are shaped by our experience. And so sad part about it is a lot of people's experience is trauma experience. So it's easy to automatically revert to the negative side of things, than to look at the positive side of things. Even when people are saying like, I'm gonna protect my peace, I'm gonna protect my energy, I'm protecting, I got boundaries. Even in the sense of saying that, they subconsciously still revert to the trauma responses, and outlooks of situations and conversations before they ever revert to the positive one. So when I saw you do this video on TikTok, I was like, dang, I've never even, so I understand it based off my own mentality and the things I've learned over my personal experience and coaching experience. I've, retrained my mind, but when you were talking about it, I was like, I think we should talk more on that because yes, I don't think people really understand, wins versus losses when it comes to, this thing, dating, relationships, whatever. Because like me and you we've already said before. First of all, people they don't know how to date, so they look at that as a loss. People always say, "Well, I don't need nobody wasting my time." Well, see, that's the problem there. Like it's you got to rechange that mindset. If you're dating, it's not a waste of your time unless you're still holding on to something that you see is not beneficial for you, or you guys are on two different paths. Then it's a waste of time, but then it's not that person wasting, it's you wasting your own time. So it's almost like, our minds is set up to just automatically go to the negative side of things. So I like that. When I saw you do that video, I'm like, okay, we need to talk more on that because I even want to hear from your view. Wins versus losses in love, and not even in love, like I said, because when you date, I mean, you don't know if you love this in love with this person yet. But yeah,
I was just trying to cover, not just dating, even,
yeah,
when you in a committed relationship, when you married, I feel like it's levels to, what a real win and loss is. But I just feel like, the things that people consider it, like you were saying with the wasting your time thing, I never thought people was wasting my time. I just thought people was wrong for me. It wasn't necessary. I don't think you're wasting my time because you want different things, and we both discovered that at a point in time. Like to me, that's the purpose of dating. Figure out if you guys are on the same page. It ain't to assume that because you like a person, y'all are automatically on the same page. Like it's not.
hmm
That's not how it works. And I think people get caught up in, how they feel about, a person or a situation, and they're not realizing that that's not the purpose of this.
yeah. Even with when you say that, even with the whole things don't work out, we on different pages. People say, oh, they're wasting my time. Again, I say, well, how long did you hold on to? Like at what point did you not see y'all were on the same page? Because people also can like you based off attraction. People being attracted to you. People can like you based off your social media presence. People they can come liking you, but once they get to know you, they have every right to unlike you. So that's not a wasting your time. That's like they thought this was a good idea. Something happened along the lines, whether it was you or whether they just, their own personal whatever they got going on and just feel like, oh, well, you know what, nah, I don't think I'm gonna pursue anything serious with this. So that's not a that's not a wasting my time thing. That's what happens when you're vetting, but people don't want to vet. They want to just, I like you, you like me. Check one, check two, yes or no, and let's be together. Like they
Yeah.
want it to be like at that instant, and that's just unrealistic.
Yeah, I agree. And like you said, that's, you know, they have a choice. That's the part that people don't ever factor in, is that someone might, and that's why I be feeling like it's like an ego thing. Because who's telling you that a person doesn't have the right to not like you? You know what I'm saying? Like, how crazy is that? And it's not even to put yourself down in any way. You can know that you a catch and know that somebody should want you, but that don't mean that everybody's going to want you. That's just not what that means. One of the best things that I did for myself when dating was know that I ain't for everybody. I'm not for every single person. Like, and I had to
Mhm.
figure out okay, so who am I actually for? Who actually really, meshes well with who I am and what I believe in, and
Mhm.
I'm dating that type of woman. I'm not going for everybody I think is cute. Like it don't mean anything like compatibility wise, but were there girls who thought the type of dude I was just wasn't it 100%. And guess what? I'm not offended by that. Okay, I'm not. Like, you have every right to like what you like. You have every right to like the type of thing that you like. And I'm if that's not who I am, then I'm cool with stepping out of your way. And I'm not. Oh, you need to like guys like me. No, of course everybody thinks that. Everybody thinks somebody should like who they are. You know what I'm saying? Like, but if you like, 6'6", you know, I'm not 6'6". What am I gonna say? No, you gotta bring it down to about 5'9", 5'10", and that's where you should be at. No, if that's what a person like, you can have that. So where are the girls who like the 5'9", 5'10" brothers then? That's why I'm like, okay, that's where I need to be, right there. Okay, that's my crowd. Let me go over here. But I
Yeah,
don't think
like,
people are.
yeah, and that's realistic though, and that's the thing. Like, people aren't living in reality. It's like you say, I don't know who told them that it's like a pride thing or something, because they not living in reality. It's like, for me, I'm small. I've been small my whole life. I might gain a little weight here and there, but it never stick and stay long enough. So when I see men, even if I'm attracted to them, and if I see men, they literally only want thick women, I don't take offense. I just say that that's not a place I'll shoot my shot then. Because if they only like thick women and that's all they're focused on, then why would I put myself in a position to prove to them why you should want a smaller woman? That's crazy. Now that is wasting your time. So I do see a lot of that. It's like, people be talking about waste of time, but no, you be trying to prove to people you're the better pick. And it's crazy because I like when I see that. I don't, but I do, because I be like, y'all be calling women pick me's who tell men that they right or agree with men, but that ain't the real pick me's. The real pick me's is y'all that be trying to prove to men you the better pick. You trying to prove to them you the better pick. You trying to he dealing with other women or whatever, and you trying to push the other women out the way. You're the real pick me. In the negative sense. Stop trying to force somebody to like who you are and what you have, what you bring, and just find, like you said, find the people who are willing to learn you, that are willing to see what's on the other side of the outside of you. But no, people be chasing people that they want, and then they get disappointed when the person don't want them exactly how they want them. That's our own fault.
Yeah, you say you got to make sure that you monitoring that, But I like what you said about the pick me. I forgot I had mentioned I had went into some pick me stuff on that video, but I was that reminded me of that. Just thinking of what a real what the real thing is out there. That they're calling this stuff, because to me, like, when you have to sacrifice who you are in order to you know gain who you trying to get, that's, to me, that's the real loss. That's the real loss. You don't believe in what you believe in no more. You know what I'm saying? Like, you a Christian, now you turning Muslim to get this Muslim brother. You know what I'm saying? Like, look, you out in the streets, but now you acting like you know what I'm saying, a goodie to get this chick. It's like, no, like, be honest about who you are. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, if you want to be in the streets, don't try to drag the good girl to the streets,
Mhm.
by trying to secretly, like, no, like, be real about it. If you don't believe in a certain thing, don't, like, if it's seriously,
Mhm.
why are you sacrificing that just so you can have this person because you think they're so far great? That's the real loss of it all. If you gonna who don't want you, it's you not being happy enough with yourself to say, this is who I am. If you're going to love me, this is who you have to love. If you're
Yeah.
going to choose me, this is who you have to choose.
Mhm.
Like,
I
oh,
like.
oh, go ahead, go ahead.
Yeah, it's kind of it's. I didn't even see you still talking. It's kind of lagging over. But I like when you brought that up because people don't think about it like that. They don't think about it's a loss when you start to change who you are just to get a person. You're not authentic no more. It's kind of what we talked about before in a different live broadcast. And I was saying how, a lot of women talk about how men love, bum, and gaslight. And I was like, but women do it too. Because if you see a guy you like and you notice that he always with girls that party and all that, and you're not a fun girl in that way, but you start to do that, you start to get tipsy, and it's this thing about I was lit, and all that. You start doing all of these to appear to be the fun girl for this man, and then now you head over your heels because he probably only liked that part of you, and he don't like the other parts of you. So now you're taking away from yourself of being who you really are just to get him, and now who you are, you done turned yourself into a drunk, a whole drunk. And now when you're depressed, all you do is drink because that's the dopamine of, well, I'm lit and I feel good when I'm on, and when I'm partying and I'm drinking, but you sinking in depression, all because you're chasing a lifestyle to fit in with people or be chose by people. Again, pick me, you changing who you are, because that could be with friends too. I know we talk about pick me with a woman to a man, but no. Pick me could be friends too. You're changing everything about you. And I know we're talking about in love, so I don't want to get too off topic, but it's just the whole what you said about changing yourself. And so that's it kind of brought to mind with that. Like you a pick me. If you are changing who you are at the authenticity at down to your core just to be chosen, that's a pick me and that's a loss.
Mhm.
So, and that can, simp, if you want to say simp with dudes or whatever, because I feel like dudes can be some type of pick me too, or, for them it's called simp. But y'all gonna wear, you ain't got money like that to be wasting. But here you go, you want to look like you got it. So you spending money, you doing the trips, you getting the, whatever luxury it is, the clothes, the shoes, the car, you're spending money every time you're out, buying everybody drinks, like you doing these things, knowing you drowning, but you changing who you are to be picked by people who still ain't gonna see you after that is all over with. They still not gonna choose you.
Mhm. Yeah, that's the real loss, of it all when you're doing that. Look, I mean, I ain't gonna lie. I did have an instance where I was spending some money I shouldn't have been spending on this girl. I like. I'm gonna just be real. I'm gonna just go ahead and put it out there, okay? Like I was spending some money and I did. I'm checking my bank account. Like, all right, maybe I can get away with this. Man, foolishness, bunch of foolishness.
But me too though. I had a season of being a pick me, but guess what? My pick me seasons were way before I was an accountability coach.
Mm,
I was doing like it was to the point people were like, "You used to be a church girl. When you start doing that?" And I'm like, "Oh, I'm just living, and exploring." Yeah, that was my pick me season right there. But when I start being accountable,
mhm.
holding myself accountable and holding women accountable, that ain't pick me at all. That's my lessons learned. And this is, that was me like, oh, nah, we be tripping. We got to fix this. So, I did have pick me moments too, way before
Hey,
my accountability stage, though.
yeah. Actually, that's how that's the real uh, stage where you ain't doing what you ain't being who you're supposed to be, and but this online thing that you can't agree with a person of the opposite sex without being called. It's like no, that's not what this is about, and I refuse to buy into that. Just what we're doing right now is just a prime example of that. Where uh, a man and a woman can have these conversations. We're not arguing. We can share perspective, share differences, and show, be an example that, hey, we don't have to be on here arguing about this stuff. You know what I'm saying? And we can have different opinions and different perspectives and still, dig into a topic and ain't going crazy on each other, and I think that's something that, people don't understand. Like, that's what it's really about. We need to try to understand each other and respect each other's views and experiences, as opposed to just trying to, see who been through the most, who's more right. You know what I'm saying? This senselessness that's going on, that I be
Yeah,
seeing online. That's like, I can't watch that. So I can't watch. I'm not getting nothing out of that. Because it's not, the conversation isn't bringing us any further together.
yeah.
Um,
And that's the real win. Now that you speak on that, that is a win because I know we got this thing, the battle of the sexes, thing. I was actually gonna do a spin on it. I was gonna create a battle of the sexes panel, and and the thing is, I know what people they hear and think of when they hear battle of the sexes. But I'm the type person I like throwing spins on it. So what mine was going to do, because I would have been talking to the panelists beforehand, telling them the rules of how Brandy do battle of the sexes. It was going to be creating a space where we can disagree, but respectfully, because most of them battle of the sexes, it ain't respectfully at all. It's a lot of over talking. It's a lot of craziness. And so I was going to, just redo the cycle. So I was going to show them this is how you could do a battle of the sexes and still win. You be in a room where you comprehend each other. I don't have to agree with you. I don't have to make you think like me as a woman and vice versa. But do we understand, what I'm saying, where each other is coming from to the point where it's like, oh, dang, I mean, that's how you act. I don't agree with it. But I see now, this is why you acting and thinking the way you're thinking. And I can respectfully, leave that conversation or end the conversation and still not agree with it. So that's real wins in life because even your topic, real wins and losses in love, relationships, marriage, if we always at odds with each other and disrespecting each other, that's a loss in love. That ain't a win. So these tactics we need even before the relationship is knowing how to win with each other in conversation and in disagreement, before love or the relationship or whatever.
yeah, that's and that's the a key thing. Well, first I want to say, if you ever do, put that together, hey, you got to make sure I'm a part of that. Okay, I got to be a part of that, 'cause
Yeah,
that's a really dope idea,
yeah,
actually.
yeah.
Uh, but you're right, and that's a lot of people don't realize that it does start when you first meeting everybody. When you first getting together, that's where it starts. Because when you get to marriage, it's not gonna change. If y'all not trying to, work on y'all wins and losses in dating, in marriage is not gonna change nothing. Okay, it ain't there's nothing about marriage that magically makes stuff work. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just nothing. I don't know what people be, it's nothing that's just magically fine, once y'all did had the wedding and, they said I do. Like, that stuff just don't magically work. You still have to, you know, you still have to work at it. You still got to do, you still got to put in that work. You still got to get to know each other. Even though you know each other, you still have to keep getting to know each other.
Mhm.
You know, things change, people update, evolve. You have to stay in tune with all that stuff.
Yeah.
And you can't think that you're just because you're married, you're automatically winning.
Yeah, I don't
That's
know where that thought process came from. I call it a Disney mindset. It's like people are so in the Disneyland type, oh, princess and Beauty and the Beast. Like we in this Disney mindset, like that is not real.
right.
Like Cinderella, the man then he found the glass slipper and found who wear it and they live happily ever after. We gotta get out the Disney mindset. That does not work. The person you are with before marriage is who that will be after marriage. So if you guys aren't willing to grow and change with each other, because people do grow apart, that is the thing.
Oh yeah.
People say all the time, I don't know how you could get divorced after so long. Because people grow apart. If you don't grow together, you're growing apart. And
Exactly.
nobody's exempt. We're not superhuman. We're
Mm,
not superhuman. Any of us can fall. So that's why we got to be careful, like the partner that we choose. The real win is before you get married, building that foundation up to be solid. Same with my marriage. That's why I was able to get over it as soon as I was able to get over it. Now I went through my spell of being hurt, and embarrassed after divorce, but I was able to get over it because I was like, the foundation wasn't even what it was supposed to be from the beginning. So how
mm.
did I expect us to have a happily ever after? It was unrealistic, but there we go. I'm the little girl dreaming of the white picket fence in the marriage. And that's all I was focused on. So
Mm,
the person who was gonna get it to me, I took it,
mm.
without using my brain. So it's like, yeah, yeah. Marriage doesn't, it's not a magic light switch where it changes, everybody so magically, everything is just peaches and cream every day.
As you say, it's birds flying in the air after that. I
Yeah,
guess rainbows and butterflies after that.
boy, yeah, I don't know. I don't know where that mindset. I really don't know where that mindset came from. But
Yeah, I mean, I don't think people it's a reality about marriage that a lot of us don't understand till we get married. And look, including myself. Even you know, uh, as interested as I am in this area, um, it's still a lot. I've had to learn, and I'm happy that I've learned it because I'm confident in giving it advice about certain things that I've gone through because I'm like, okay, yeah, I thought that too.
mhm,
Yeah, I had the same experience. I thought that too, and I had to come to grips with some stuff. But
mhm,
I was also aware of that as well. Like I'm not coming into this thinking, you know, yeah, I know some stuff, sure, but I'm not coming in thinking I just conquered everything because I found somebody I want to marry.
yeah,
But I think when you are honest about that and honest about what you don't know, I think that helps with your wins and losses. When you just real about it, like, you know what, I don't know as much as I want to know as
mhm,
far as a long term relationship and commitment.
yeah.
You got to be honest about that. Take the ego out of it. You know.
Mhm.
Um, Go ahead.
You know what I want to add as a divorcee, because I know, I also get backlash from people that be like, you ain't married, how can you give relationship advice? Or you're not even currently in a relationship, how can you give it? Or you're divorced, how can you give it? And I tell people, the people who aren't teachable, you're gonna always fail, because I may not be showing you or giving you the advice on how to keep a long marriage, but the advice that I'm giving you is definitely showing you how to choose the right partner and not go through a divorce like I did. So when you look at those titles and you dismiss the information because you don't see me as still married or in a relationship, it's like you're not teachable, and I can see your relationship won't last long, because you're only like, you don't know how to open your mind to hear what's being said. Like, there's married people, there's people in relationships, they're bitter. So you gonna take relationship advice to them just because they're married or in a relationship? No. Take sound advice. So my sound advice was, hey, make sure you know the person you're marrying. Because if you go in there with a fairy tale mindset, as I did, you will find yourself on the same side of me, divorced, as I am. So, it's like those the type of advice that people should be, willing to take in, versus looking at like, I ain't listening to nothing she say, she divorced. Oh, okay, well, I'll see you in a minute. You'll be there too. Simply be, and I know that sounds bad, but again, I live in reality. When I went to my doors, the amount of percentages I saw people being divorced in, I never knew existed, because I never thought about divorce in that way. So I never did the research on it. But once I got divorced, I was like, holy cow, the amount of people that get divorced. So it's like, you can think all day long, I'm never getting divorced. My first marriage gonna be my only marriage. That's nice. We all thought that.
Right.
So it's like, just, and that's okay to have that mindset. We all want that, but then it's like, you can also learn from a divorced person that's not bitter either, because you can be like, dang, they did that. Yeah, let me be careful on that. Let me not make sure I disrespect him or put my hands on him. It's things you can learn from people that's divorced, so that you don't do, or in my case, like I said, do vet better. I didn't vet. I didn't have a vetting process on my first marriage at all. I saw the white
Mhm.
picket fence. I saw we was in church. Didn't want to disappoint God. That's what I saw. I didn't see the reality of marriage. So
Mm.
I chose the wrong partner.
Mm. That's you know what you one thing that I don't think people realize with people like you who've gone through that process is that you have a well-rounded perspective on this whole thing. You have a well-rounded perspective, and you look at a person that's divorced as if they don't have the information you would need to not, go down that path. Especially if you thinking the same, because then I feel like you're acting like there are no losses. You can't lose, and that's not the mindset you want to have when you married. Is that you just can't lose? Y'all love is so, man. We are Martin and Gina on fire. Okay, like we are like straight up. We just like this. Y'all don't understand. Like y'all don't. Y'all can't. Y'all love ain't like our love. No, I believe that too. Okay, it's not about that. That ain't how it works. Just because your feelings are so strong and you think your relationship's deep because your feelings are so strong, it means nothing. Okay, it means absolutely nothing. If you ain't doing the work that you need to be doing,
Mm,
it's still
mm,
gonna come crumbling down. If you come into it with a mindset, like I said, we all can miss the mark. There's nobody immune to that. We all can miss the mark,
that
and
part.
and you can't look at someone who's divorced as if they don't have anything to add of value to that conversation. No, that person knows extensive and out, beginning to end what you need to know. Believe that, But let me say this, not divorce. Someone who isn't bitter, because some people, just because you divorced don't mean you got that. But if you have divorced and you have, worked through that and you're healthy about the mindset of marriage, yes, that's who you need to be listening to for sure.
Yeah.
But some people get divorced and be like, "Hey, bro, do not do it. Don't do it."
Yeah. Well, look. The crazy part about it, it's still married people saying don't do it.
Oh
You know,
yeah.
so it's like that's what it's crazy. Like y'all really be like nitpicking that little bitty stuff. So you'll listen to a married person who for sure they keep going. They've been together 10, 15, 20 years, but it's been none but cheating and abuse through the whole marriage. But you'll
Mm,
listen to them before you listen to somebody that's divorced, that's with a healthy mindset of it, or you're listening to somebody that's been married a long time, but they're like, hey, bro, no, don't come on this side. You'll listen to them just because they got the years, but you won't listen to the wisdom of the people who didn't make it that far. And it's like, I get it, but I don't get it.
mm.
Like, so I don't know. They'll be
Yeah,
all right.
I've
They either
heard that.
gonna learn through experience or they gonna learn through observation. Either way, they gonna learn. So
Right. Like I try to give people the best advice I can so they can, make the right decisions and make the right moves. But I would never tell you, don't do it. But I've heard it. I've heard like, man, don't do that. But also you gotta understand, I know I'm not you. I know I'm not marrying the person you married, and I know I don't have the relationship that you had. I'm very conscious of that. I'm very conscious that, I'm not making the same decisions, and I know I had a process. Me and my wife went through a real process, when we met each other and dated and all that. So, I can't assume that your marriage and my marriage is the same when you say don't do it. Like I can't assume that. You know, um, but if you would tell me something like, okay, this is what you should do that I wish I did, oh, I'm all ears, because that's a person taking accountability for what happened and showing you like, okay, this I want you to win, but you need to be aware of these things.
mhm,
So when I hear something like that, okay, I'm all ears after that because you want me to win. You want me to be successful in this thing. And if you're going to deal with somebody giving you advice about wins and losses, you got to know which direction they're trying to steer you into.
exactly,
Okay? You
exactly.
have to know that. You have to know what. If are you giving me advice to win? Are you
Yeah,
telling me that don't even play the game because there is no winning.
Yes, and that's what I hear a lot, and it's crazy because the conversation is, and I know we'll probably be ending soon, but the conversation around the marriage, how do men benefit from marriage? And it's so crazy the amount of men who say they have not benefited from marriage, and the amount of men who don't think they will. And and I see a lot of women mad at that or bashing them. Well, you ain't found the right woman. I say, see, that right there is not helping the situation. Of course you ain't found the right one. Like that's anybody. If you don't benefit from it, but it's like listen to what's being said. You got the so many men saying or thinking, those who are actually in it and those who are not. So what we need is people who are actually in it and that are winning. We need to hear from them more. And I know people don't want to get, they want to keep their business private. But the thing is it's like we're in a generation where this is speaking louder than this. The bad about marriage is speaking louder than the good. So if you plan to advocate for the good and you think people should do it, then staying quiet is not going to help the bad go down, because the bad is loud from every angle. So it's like I understand when I see the bad of it all the time, because that's all I see and hear. I see some good ones, but they're not high in numbers. They're not speaking loud enough for people to see it. So it's like this is where we come in with trying to understand each other. Why do you feel, and people, they don't want to have a conversation. Why do you feel you won't benefit? And the moment they start saying why they won't benefit, then now here's the gender war. Oh, well, you saying that, but what about this and what? And it's like, see, you proving a point. Just listen. Or again, what you say? Oh, are we giving advice? Or are we having a conversation to win or to lose? What we doing here? And we having a lot of losing conversations from what I see at this point.
Yeah.
So,
Man, look, you can tap into my whole psychology with this thing, with that, because that's exactly, what makes me, I've been doing this for a while. I've been doing this for some years, and there are times when I'm like, I don't have to do this.
yeah.
I don't have, but then I'm online and I see the foolishness. I'm like, I have to, I gotta say something. I gotta put something out there because I can't just let that. They listening to these people and they
Mhm.
giving them horrible advice, and I just can't sit back.
Mhm.
By the time I hooked up with you, I'm like, all right, I'm done sitting back and watching it. I gotta say something.
Yeah,
No,
because
like
when
I
you
gotta
when
stop
you
waiting.
reached out and I went down your page some, I was like, oh, like, where he come from? He been talking some good stuff, and that's so. I purposely want to. I'm actually in collab with somebody now. We haven't went forward with it yet. We just kind of still learning each other, but it's a guy, and where did he stay? He stay in Ohio, and I was telling him, I said, my main goal is I'm gonna forever stand on this. I don't mind collabing with women, but I'm gonna forever make sure I collab with men and great men who don't hate women, because I need, as I grow in my brand, as I grow even just personally, I need to be able to be the catalyst for people to see there are great men. I want to be the catalyst for people to see men and women can work together, and it not always be like a intimate sexual thing. I hate that narrative too. It's like, I don't know, man. They be kind of talking a lot. I wonder if, like, why do our minds automatically go to that side of it? But we're in an overly sexualized, generation. So it's like they can't think past, what I mean, what they should think past. Again, they revert to negativity first before they ever revert to positivity. And so yeah, so I want to be the catalyst to show, like, hey, there's really intelligent men out there, there's smart men out there, there's married men out there, happily married men out there. There's people who had bad relationships and don't ever want to get married, but look at the gems that's coming from them as a man. Maybe you can learn something about men in general. But I want to present these things until the day God called me home. Like, this is what I want to do, and meet more men who are like me and women for that sake, because I also think the more women that see me that are growing, they'll be like, you know what, there is another way. I don't have to jump on board with the, we hate men, type girls club thing. I don't have to jump on that. There are other women, who speak highly of men. So let me see how she do it and, connect with her. So that's gonna always be my goal, because we focusing on wins, not losses. And we trying to turn those losses into lessons so that we can win. So
Can't say it no better than that. Well, look, I'm gonna go ahead and stop right there. Look, we can, man. This definitely went way past what I thought it was gonna go. But see, that's what I said. We
because
only need one.
we did 45 exactly, because we did 45 with y'all normal 45, but we had already started what 35 minutes later.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
so yeah,
But this was, man, I really enjoyed this. This is a really good conversation, and I know people gonna get something real good out of this. Um, Man, I thank you again, Brandy, for your time and patience
yeah,
today, because I lost mine about 30 minutes ago, but about 45 minutes ago, because yeah, this technology is ridiculous.
right,
Uh,
right.
but yeah, I appreciate you, sticking it out and still giving some really good stuff. Um, and whoever is tuning in, I know y'all getting something good out of this on Facebook and YouTube. Uh, but yeah, we're gonna keep it rolling. And look, I'm about to get over here and get these kids together. I know they're ready.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah, I appreciate you coming through. Blessing us with the words. And like I said, we'll hook up. Like I said, maybe Sunday, right?
yeah. We'll keep in touch. So between Sundays and Wednesdays, maybe both, but one or the other for sure. So
I'm gonna get this thing together. I tell you what, it's really didn't took me there today,
yeah.
but I'm gonna get this thing together. This is not for to frustrate me trying
Yeah,
to do this.
yeah. Blow some steam off, breathe, relax, because we got our 45 minutes out, and it was a good talk.
Yeah,
And, it's all right.
yeah,
We did one topic, but that's okay. The goal isn't how many topics we can get through. The goal is how much quality conversation we can give out and put out. So yeah.
that's
So
it.
thank you for having me, and yeah. So I'll see you around until next time.
All right, I see.
Okay.